We're very fortunate that Hurricane Beryl did not make landfall in Jamaica, as the trajectory of the center of the hurricane passed 45 miles south of Kingston. However, there was significant damage in sections of Jamaica. In other parts of the island, including much of Kingston, however, proverbially, the akis and mangoes remain on the tree. The government of Jamaica has strategically and proactively put in place a multi-layered suite of instruments that can provide the financial resources to finance the response and recovery from natural disaster. While it is not designed, nor is it expected that every storm should trigger all instruments, the idea is that some instruments provide resources for every storm. The first layer consists of the funds that we have on hand and keep on hand for natural disaster occurrences. A few years ago, we put aside $4 billion in our contingencies fund, and we also put aside $500 million in our natural disaster fund. Given the extent of the damage as preliminarily assessed and anecdotally reported on, it is likely that we will access these two layers of our natural disaster fund and our contingencies fund to the tune of up to $4.5 billion. Those are funds that we have on hand for eventualities such as this. We may also have to access some of the next layer, which consists of our contingent credit claim with the Inter-American Development Bank. The amount of this layer, as defined by the resources that would come available for the highest intensity and most direct hit hurricane, is $46 billion. We will have to ascertain over the next few days how much of this has been triggered by Beryl. We have tropical cyclone and excess rainfall policies with the Caribbean Catastrophe Reinsurance Facility. We'll know very shortly whether these policies have been triggered by Hurricane Beryl. Had Hurricane Beryl made landfall in Jamaica, i.e. had the center of Hurricane Beryl passed over the land mass of Jamaica, the catastrophe bond would certainly have been triggered. Also, had the intensity of Hurricane Beryl not declined as compared to where it was when it was in the mid-Caribbean, the catastrophe bond would also have triggered under those circumstances. In addition to these instruments that I've just described, the government of Jamaica has a $140 billion precautionary and liquidity line with the International Monetary Fund. It's often called a PLL, for precautionary and liquidity line. The PLL is designed for countries with sound and strong macroeconomic fundamentals, and it can be drawn if liquidity problems emerge as a result of an economic shock or a natural disaster. At this point, we do not anticipate that the government of Jamaica will encounter any liquidity problems as a result of Hurricane Beryl. And as such, we are unlikely, therefore, to draw on this facility. Over the next few days, the government of Jamaica will aggregate the damage from Hurricane Beryl and aggregate the interventions required as a result of Hurricane Beryl, as well as finalize the resources that are available from our disaster risk financing instruments. Your government has been proactive in arranging disaster risk financing that is contingent upon the occurrence of a natural disaster, and doing so in advance. As such, with the advent of Hurricane Beryl, there's no need for the government to scramble to find resources to address the emergency response that is required. Finally, it is important for us to remember that Hurricane Beryl is only the first hurricane of the 2024 hurricane season. As such, it is going to be critically important that we continue to be prudent with resources, including resources that emanate from disaster risk financing sources, so that we will also be prepared in the event that other storms or hurricanes come our way during the remainder of the 2024 hurricane season.